Good morning and welcome to the annual Heart Men's Wrestling Media Day. I'm your host this year, Tony Hager, founder of IA Wrestle. We're next joined by 11-time NAIA national champion head coach Nick Mitchell, as well as athlete Tanner Abbas. So, guys, welcome. The season's here. We're officially doing media days. It kind of just feels like, hey, we're ready to wrestle next week. I'm sure you were ready to wrestle last week, Coach.
Yeah, we've been ready, man. We're excited to get going.
Tanner, how we feeling? Well, Coach, I'll get to you here. Um, you know, you've got a huge roster, Coach. You've always had, up and down the lineup, multiple guys that can step in the lineup. Um, you know, there's a reason why Tanner is here, right? Guy from Iowa, now a leader of your program. Why don't you just kind of introduce Tanner and his importance of this program?
Yeah, so Tanner's been with us. It's crazy. Last year was the 15th year of Grandview Wrestling, and it was Tanner's fifth year with us. And so now going on the 16th year and his sixth year, he's been with us almost as long as I have. So no, he's been a staple in our program for a long time, and he's a two-time All-American for us. Just been a huge leader for us, and yeah, man. So he's been a big part of this thing.
Tanner, obviously, being here in Iowa, you were able to see Coach Mitchell and staff build this program into what it is today. Were you looking along the way as you were coming up through high school? Was Grandview always the program for you?
Honestly, coming up out of high school, I wasn't recruited by many schools, and I hit up Cody Caldwell back when he was the grad assistant, and I came to practice, and I was kind of sold immediately. Hearing Mitchell talk before practice is kind of like makes me want to run through like a wall. And I feel the same way 6 years in as I did the first time I stepped in the room. So no, I really had no other plans other than Grandview as soon as I stepped on campus.
Was it pretty easy to recruit Reed,
Yes.
your brother?
Yeah, absolutely. Reed's in the nursing program here, and he comes kind of like this along the same lines as me, obviously, as my brother. No, he was sold right away too. It didn't take much. He was training with us all throughout high school, so in this like summer and spring, and so it was easy.
Coach, every year I enjoy talking to you, kind of preseason, midseason, and after the national championships, because one thing that really sticks out to me, what I said, everyone thinks that it's easy to win 11 national championships, but in reality, every single team is different, right? They have they have their own individual traits that are good and bad, right? Can you just talk a little bit about what's unique about last year's team and what using that to carry into 2024?
Yeah, you said it, man. Every team is so different, and it's really like one of the things that I love most about this job is it's like putting a puzzle together every year. You kind of figure out what makes each team tick, what makes each individual tick. Just find ways to motivate them. And last year we had a ton of returners on the team, probably the deepest team we've ever had in this program. I mean, just the number of returning All Americans and guys who had wrestled at the national championship before. And sometimes, of course, that's always a positive thing. But sometimes that makes it tough for some of the younger guys to feel like they can see the light at the end of the tunnel too. And so I think that's one of the things that we're excited about with this season is that we lost a lot of guys, a lot of returning All Americans, and with that, and every guy should feel like they've got a shot to be a difference maker this year. So that's really the exciting part about this year is guys that have been in this room putting the work in, and then of course you got some new guys that come in that you think can maybe make a difference too. So it's always fun this time of year to see like how things are going to start shaping out.
Who are some of those returners, Coach, for you guys?
Obviously, you got Tanner here. You got a guy like Aiden Reeves who he's been with us. He was here 2 years ago. He came in, had a really good season. He was behind Esco Walker, who was the national champ that year, and Justin Portillo, who's a five-time All-American, right in the mix with those guys. And then last year he tore his ACL, and so just to see him like stick with the process and like and believe in that championship lifestyle and like really continue to grow through that time you're excited about. So guys like him, and then, you know, you got some guys like GK Garvus, Kawaki Biki Lau. He was our backup 97 behind Owen Brongart last year, and GK was a round away from being an All-American. Got hurt at the conference tournament, so excited to see what he can do when he's fully healthy. And then there's just a good group of young guys. I think that class that redshirted last year, I really feel like there's some guys in there that believe they can be difference makers. So we'll see, man. We're going to compete, but our guys are going to make weight this coming weekend, compete in the room a little bit, and then next weekend we're going to take a big group down to. We're actually going to take. Looks like we're going to take most of our guys down to Wichita, Kansas, at Friends University. We were kind of back and forth on going down there, and I think we're going to take the majority of our guys down there that weekend. Should see some a good handful of teams in our division.
What are some of those newcomers, Coach, that you're hoping to see that can make an impact at, you know, just say we're here next week down in Kansas?
Yeah, a pretty good group of transfers. A 25-pounder that's coming in. He's a grad transfer named Lucas Rodriguez. He spent most of his career at Edinburgh, then spent a short time at North Dakota State. Jackson Cockrell, he's actually a triplet. His sister wrestles here at Grandview, so that was our main connection. His brother is an NAI wrestler also. I feel like he could be a tough difference maker for us. Cam Robinson spent a couple of years up at Iowa State. Really good kid, tall, rangy, real athletic. And then a kid named Ian Carlos, who was third in JUCOs last year, 84-pounder. Those guys have all, you know, have come in and like just really like competed hard in the room so far.
Tanner, you know, you said that like you talked to Coach and he makes you feel like you want to run through a brick wall, like, and you got matches coming up here, you got duels coming up, and you know, have you ever to sit back and just realize like what kind of opportunity you've had at Grandview to wrestle for a national power team?
So just recently I started to think more about this, and it's kind of helped me like loosen up and get ready for the start of the season, kind of like you're saying. I think in years past I've taken it for granted a little bit, like how special the room is, how many great partners I have, the coaching staff that seems to grow every year. No, I mean, just recently I started to kind of revisit that, and it's made me more excited and appreciate the things that I have around me. And I think that's kind of why I came back for my 6th year. It's more about having fun, scoring points, and enjoying the culture around me and the people around me. So yeah.
It's hard to realize what we have, you know, until we don't have it, which is coming up for you, right? You're not going to be able to strap that singlet on much longer. So taking advantage of those situations now are super important, I imagine. So what, you know, when you look at the season, what are some individual goals for you, and what are some team goals that you guys are setting in place?
So for me personally, I don't really have any, you know, goals outside of, you know, I want to dominate. I want to bonus point everybody that I wrestle. I want to wrestle at every tournament that my brother wrestles in, just like one last opportunity together. Most importantly, I really just want to have fun with my teammates. Like I said, I've put a lot of pressure on myself in years past, and it's so much better when you go into these tournaments just having fun, trying to score, and, you know, making the most out of it. But I think the goal is always just to see how good we can be. So I'm not gonna tell you it's a specific thing. The goal is obviously to see how good we can be and win national championships. But yeah, I don't know. It's just have fun and score a lot of points, and kick ass. So,
Coach, tell us a little bit more about your trip to Reno, Nevada, coming up in December. You know, what you kind of hope to see from your team when you're going a long ways away from Iowa. There's distractions and reasons why you go to these things, and keeping that stuff into check. And so not only just getting to know like how these kids kind of tick outside of the room, but, you know, what are you looking forward to the competition as well?
Yeah, it like you said, it's kind of all those things. I mean, it's fun to travel together as a team. Back, you know, when we first got this program going, we used to go out to Vegas for a dual tournament out there, and, Vegas is a lot cooler than Reno. But Reno's not it's not that cool, but we the tournament's pretty cool. And we just like going out, like traveling together. It's a chance for these guys to hang out together, like you said, off campus, get out of the state a little bit. Some guys haven't traveled a lot, but realistically, the reason we go out there is just because it's one of the toughest tournaments. And we go out there. I think the 2 years in a row, or maybe even 3 years in a row, we finished third at that tournament. We don't finish third very often, so it's an opportunity for us to go like really get stretched, and I don't think we've had anybody be the number one seed out there ever since we've gone out to that tournament. And that's the whole point. Just go wrestle some guys that maybe people think you're not supposed to beat. Go compete against some teams that maybe people think you're not supposed to beat. And just again, like it's an opportunity for us to really stretch ourselves and find out how good we can be.
For those that maybe don't know about this tournament, right, within the heart or within the conference, or within the NAIA, what are some of those other teams that are you guys planning to compete against?
Yeah, Oregon State's usually out there. Michigan State's been out there. A couple of years we've been out there. Oklahoma State brought their team. Back when Old Dominion had a program, those guys would come out. Arizona State usually has guys. You see a lot of those teams from out west. It just kind of depends on the year. I think I don't know if I mentioned Michigan State. Those guys have been out there the last couple of years. So it's a pretty good mix. There'd be some really tough D1s, some a handful of D2s, some NAIs that we don't typically see, some of those West Coast NAI schools, and then some tough JUCO programs too. You throw Clackamas in there, and Western Wyoming, two of the best JUCO programs. So it's an opportunity to compete with those guys and actually get to see some of those guys that are on some of those better teams that we might be recruiting also.
Was it important for you? I mean, you and I know the story and the history, I guess, at the Midlands and why you're not there, and now you're getting this opportunity. Was that important for you to get a tournament like that under your schedule?
For sure, yeah. And that was one of the things that obviously we competed at the Midlands for almost a decade there, and some of that stuff has changed. But even with that tournament, we usually had a limit on how many guys we could bring. I think the most ever we could bring was 6 guys, which was great. But we go out to Reno and we take 15, maybe 20 guys out there, and so it really is like an opportunity to compete as a team. I was when we used to go to the Midlands, I used to always kind of wonder like how well we could do if we were able to bring a full team. And I think there was a couple of years where we scored a lot of points with just the 6 guys we had, but would have been fun to have some other point scorers in there. So that's part of that Reno experience for us.
Coach, I know that you coach outside of your program. You coach other coaches. You coach within, the university. That's important for you to help other coaches, and they help you, right? And last year, Grandview captured his 3rd straight Hart Commissioner's Cup. How, as the top athletics department in the conference, what does that mean to you personally, and how do you feel like it means to the overall brand of Grandview University?
It's awesome. I mean, it's something you're really proud of, and I think a huge part of that, it starts with our boss, Troy Plummer. He's now the vice president for athletics. But the thing that we have here is that like coaches really genuinely want to help each other. You just don't see a lot of ego. You don't see a lot of competitiveness within the programs, within the coaching staffs. People are on the same page as far as like what kind of students we want here, like what we want our teams to look like. And success breeds success, man. It's one of those things that everybody knows. Our moms have been telling us since we were like 5. You're like, who you surround yourself with is going to have an impact on you. And luckily, I'm surrounded by some winners.
I love it. Coach, last question here for Tanner. The Heart is one of the premier conferences in the NAIA. What duels are you looking forward to this year?
I mean, I personally would like to wrestle every duel. So I know the Kearney one's always been a fun one. I wrestled in the first one, I think against like Sam Turner a couple years back. I know as far as the Heart goes, I know Baker's traditionally been tough. Missouri Valley's always been a good one that's brought a lot of hype. Pretty much any duel I can get my hands on, I'd like any opportunity that I can to wrestle. So I think they'll all be great. I think we'll get to see a lot of good opponents this year. So it'll be fun.
Well, Coach and Tanner, I appreciate you guys, joining the Heart Media Day here today, and we're looking forward to your guys' schedule, what you guys can do, and representing not only the the Heart but NAI. So appreciate your guys' time.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it, man.